I'd like to know what these superseding plea agreements are. Yes. Sounds like something special. Now, here's another one of those $100 special assessments. Yes. I'd like to know what these special assessments are. Yes. And every superseding plea agreement in the Department of Justice. Yes. Or any district court of the United States of America. Because when you make up really bullshit, yes, I'll sue every employee that does a prosecuting. 100 hours of community service and $100 special assessment. You know, it really looks like you don't take seriously, yes, the actual laws of the United States. Now I put witness, oh, and sign here, yes. Theft, embezzlement, receipt of stolen property, property destructions, and offenses involving fraud or deceit. Oh. Now, let's say your base level offense. Yes. The defendant was convicted of an offense referred to on this guideline. Yes. Offense of conviction has a statutory maximum term of prison of 20 years or more. Yes. Otherwise, special offense characteristics. Oh, somewhat interesting. Yes. Exactly how big is my inheritance? Is it over $9,500,000? Oops. Add an additional 20 years. Now, let's say, yes, that my actual wealth that you're obstructing, yes, is greater than, yes, $550 million. I put approved and confidential here. You know why I put that there? No, because you could get another 30. Oh, now wouldn't you like to have multiple lifetimes in prison right now? Now, does anybody know my relatives known as Elmer and Verna Holes? It seemed that George Sinclair, yes, Verna Jean Galt, quite possibly Stephen's wife or Stephen himself. Yes, some of my cousins that are married. Oh, Debbie, ooh, Galt, ooch. Then there was that Bob, ooch, and Sherry. Then there, ooh, Brian Sinclair. And then somebody involved all my relatives in this show. Yes, well, you're going to pay gratuities as bribery to those in office because of the amount of my actual inheritance. Now, why don't we call Sandra and Doug Taylor today? Yes, find out what I'm actually worth because it seemed like there's a lot of fraud, false, and fraudulent statements, yes, being made against myself so that you could have me put in a mental institution, yes, so that my relatives could have control of my wealth. Ooch. Now let's think of Edward Budnick. Yes, yes, yes. My deceased grandfather from Arizona. I emailed the sheriffs in Arizona. Now, I'm going to want to add up the total amount, yes, of what my relatives thought they would get for paying you to make false, fictitious, and fraudulent statements about me, yes, being in Sequim, Washington. Right. Brennan, Washington. Ooch. Looks like there's some motive here for paying for all the shows. Yes. Above and beyond keeping me from my sons. Yes. Keeping me from Marilyn Van Proyen. Yes. It could involve an amount greater than $550 million in assets. Now, why don't we call Yuma, Arizona? Why don't we call Clallam County? Why don't we call Raymond Arthur Arp? Let's call Wayne Condit, my uncle that said he's the senior and I have to do what he says. I'd like to know how much I'm really worth. And if it's more than $550 million, I'm going to add 30, yes, to each and every share for the United States.